and that's the kind of stuff I'm looking for. Hi, I'm Heinbach, and it's good to have you back. I'm putting the finishing touches to my new Eurorack setup. I've done a few videos of my Eurorack setup over the years, and it's constantly changing. It never stayed the same. But this is an attempt of making something that I will play live, because it solves one big problem for me. I generally make two kinds of music: soft ambient stuff, harder test equipment stuff, or a mixture of both. But the test equipment was always too heavy to lug around. But since I made Collide 4 with your analog, which shrinks down my wall of test equipment to a more manageable size, I hope I'm now able to take this music on the road with me too. And a bunch of these little modules that my buddy DivKid and Vostok Instrument sent me should put the finishing touch to this instrument. Let me set this up, and then we'll go to a top-down shot and explore this together. Here it is, all assembled. Let's see if it turns on, and I put the red stripe where it belongs. Yay! Seems to work. First, the case. This is 104 HP in 2 rows, and it's by Erica Synthesizers. This is their ultralight case, and it's such a difference compared to the wooden cases I had before. 2 kilograms matter a lot when you're traveling. At the core of this setup is the aforementioned Collide 4 I made with your analog. Before you say, Heinbach, stop hogging all the Collides, these two here are prototypes, and they need to go back to Joran for fixes, because the production version is more stable and yeah, it sounds just a touch better than my prototypes. With these 4 modules, I should be able to recreate the sound and flow of the wall of test equipment I use for music, which is the main goal of all of this. I want this to be the rhythm section of my music that can also double for drones and odd blips and tiny percussions and all of these things, to which I then want to add tape loops and my granular synthesizer Fluss. Next to each Collide, I've got a trace, because Collide has so many outputs, each of them gives you a different timbre or function, and I want to be able to slide through them to create different spaces just by movement of one fader. Yeah, and trace is perfect for that. This makes for such a clean idea space on which I can create, hopefully, nice sounds. Then, in the middle, I've got another DivKid classic, the Ocht. I like to use this in every setup because it's just such a smart and simple way to get related modulations running for a whole system in a small package. This is DIM2 by your analog, extremely important on stage because I can just put 2 B and C lamps on here. I don't have them on here now because I've got enough lights here. But with this, I'm able to see on stage because I really don't like those little USB external lamps. I tend to forget them, lose them, then they are not powered. Yeah, this, I go on stage and I'm able to see everything, which makes the show so much better. I've played shows where I didn't see as much and music got worse because this is all pretty small. And coming to small, here's something big. When we made Collide, I asked, oh, could we have a big knob? But Joran was like, yeah, no, this will mess up the layout. Big knobs are custom. And yeah, it's just not feasible to put a big knob here because the module would then also be much bigger. And it's already a pretty hefty module. So I thought, okay, well, then I'll live with the smaller knobs and they feel wonderful. Absolutely fine, but bigger dials are just a bit more fun and they fit into the workflow that I'm used to with the original test equipment. So this is Control, and I think he quoted my name on the back. Here I am. I'll see if I can zoom that in. So by the way, nerdies, expensive but wonderful. They make setting a system up so much easier and so much quicker. Love them. Next up is the Bart's Quartet by Shakmat. It's a quantizer. That should take care that all the voltages I send from these step 8s to it and then distribute to the collides stay in tune with each other. I don't really know how important that will be for me, but it might enable me to do one thing, and that is create harmonic changes by moving to a different harmony using this style. I love the concept of playable quantizers, and I've used that in my granular synthesizer Fluss to good effect. Next up, step 8, a sequential tracking sampling register. I like to use these as two sequences that send both pitch and pinging information to the modules. The mindset of them is very much related to test equipment, which is why I like them. Same is the Route 4. Route 4 reminds me of my Brilliant Care multiplexer, which I used on my album Schwebungssumme. So I might use this in the same vein to create these very chopped, hard-edged sequences. Then a classic, maths. Everybody needs a little analog computer in their setup. This is just one of my oldest and most useful modules, I think. This one is probably 10 years old now. Yeah, still runs. Vogelbug, always gotta have some noise and chaos and sequences. Finally, an output module also by Make Noise, so I can patch this anywhere I like using the headphones. Also route sounds from the 4 collides. Well, shall we see how this sounds? My main patch idea that I'm gonna repeat 4 times is to run the monitor output into in1 of trace, the magnitude output into in2, XY in3, and the oscillator into 4. Then send this to the output. On 4, the oscillator. So now let's put the filter into resonance. That already sounds so beautifully radiophonic. Oh, okay, let me repeat that patch quickly everywhere. Okay, this works beautifully. Now let's add the big knobs in here. I think these should control the oscillator. No. These should control the filter. Center. Okay, this works fine. Now let's try the quantizer. I need something to feed the quantizer with, so I'm gonna use this. Scan into 1, and scan into 2. And now go to the first step, and now use this on oscillator 1 volt per octave. This on 2 volt per octave, and let's tune them. Cool. Let's trigger this. Maybe a clock from here. Split that clock. Okay, I think it's time we start pinging. I'm using all the inputs for collide in. That gives us 3 points to trigger it. Let's program in another key here. And another key here too. Ah, that works. Ah, it's already so many possibilities. Oh my god, okay. Let's ping these. And these are not fed by the quantizer, because right now I don't have more melodic sources, and tested group music is not that melodic anyway. So let's see what I can do with just these. Pinged. Ooh! Okay, this is good. Now let's add in some sequencing. Gonna try the phase outputs. Now feedback maybe into one of these. No. Ooh. Okay. I knew that the phase output could be interesting to modulate things, especially in a timed manner, which I'm doing with route. So now I'm running it to control the cue in of these two collides, and that sounds like this. And that's the kind of stuff I'm looking for. Simple and brutal. Because I can switch this from gated or latching, meaning a control signal will either gate it or it will stop it. So this is two different rhythmic possibilities. This is exactly the sound and the grooves I want to make with this system. Simple, powerful, but I need to figure out if this is really the most easy way for me to achieve this. So I gotta play around with this a bit more. Okay, this is an instrument. This patch is fantastic. There's so much I can do with it. Now I think it's time to add some tape. be honest, I was a bit doubtful if this Eurorack system would work, because I've made so many Eurorack systems over the time and they never felt as close to an instrument as this one. I might even lock down this patch and work with this for a few months, working on new material, adding new tape loops and learning how to play it. And then probably in 2026, an album and a new live show featuring this. If you don't plan to go into Eurorack anytime soon, I've made a sample pack with a bunch of loops from this video available on my Patreon, as well as a piece of music there. If you have any more questions, put them in the comments below or visit the Heinbach subreddit. Thank you all for watching. I'll be seeing you in the next one. Bye.
So gut. So fun.